Who is Sarah Sawyer exactly, and how does she fit into this whole crazy story?
Sarah Sawyer is Will Sawyer's wife and mother of two wonderful children, and she's a military doctor. And she met Will 10 years earlier when he had an accident, and she performed surgery on him, and they fell in love. And in this movie, they're in this massive skyscraper, and it catches on fire because of some bad people, and we're trying to get to each other. And she's a great character because she's very courageous, smart, very good mother, and for her in the film. It's all about sort of taking care of her cubs and getting them to safety.
Obviously, you referenced then that she's a great character to play. Was
Yeah.
that part of what brought you to the movie? I mean, that's why you wanted to do this one in particular, or was it just Dwayne saying, "Please do the movie"?
No, when I auditioned, I had a screen test with Dwayne, and our energy together was really great. We had a really good dynamic. It was a lot of fun. He was very generous, and I really took to the character. I'm a mom, and to imagine any harm coming to my children is terrifying, and I think every mother has sort of that instinct of protector, and so I really related to the character, and it's nice to see a character who's not a victim, and she's not just being taken care of by her husband. Her strength and her courage is on par with her husband in this film, and that's great to see.
Was there something along with her strength and her sort of capability that you wanted to bring to her as well, that you saw in her, that you wanted to exploit and sort of really bring to the screen?
Yeah, for me, it was just imagining the circumstances and what you would want to do as a mother if you're in a situation where your children could possibly die. You wouldn't want to let them know that. You would want to protect them emotionally and physically, and you would want to be in the kind of state that would not put them in a panic. So I think that was very important. It's a fine line between showing the audience that there is fear there, because obviously there would be, but at the same time making sure that she's not putting fear in her children. So I wanted to have that element in there.
You talked about having a fairly easy chemistry with Dwayne. Was it easy to sort of build the rapport, to build that sort of on-screen relationship? Did you have much rehearsal in time in which to do that?
Honestly, we didn't. We had the screen test, and then we met first day on set again. And I think we were just lucky that the chemistry is good and the dynamic is good. He's such a nice guy. You can't not like Dwayne, so it's easy. It's very easy. He's funny, and he's professional, and he's good at what he does, and so you just play with that.
What does Ralston bring to the film as a director? Obviously, he's worked with Dwayne before. He knows how to do this kind of bigger movie as well.
Yeah.
Well, how was he working? How was it for you to work with him?
I loved Ralston. He's an incredibly bright and talented man. He wrote the film as well. He had a great passion for it and a passion for these characters. I think the clever thing that he's done with this film, because these action movies can get lost in sometimes, the characters can get lost within them. You don't get to know them, you don't engage with them. But he really introduces the family and the love for one another, the family's love for one another in a very strong way at the beginning. And so I feel that I engage with the characters, and the audience will engage with the characters in that way. And then they get to go on this great, action adventure.
Obviously, you have the kids. How was it shooting with the kids? I mean, their schedules can be challenging.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's only so much. They can't just throw them into a fire situation and be like, "It's fine, totally fine." How was it working with them?
Noah and McKenna, it was both of their first film, and they were fantastic. First of all, it's really nice to be around kids who are new to it. There was no attitude in any way, but to see their enthusiasm and their excitement was refreshing. It reminded me of the time that I first stepped on set and how exciting that was, and because you forget, it's pretty cool to see all the lights and the sets around you, and they came in and they were such little pros, and it was fun to just sort of be conscious of them and guide them in certain ways on set, and see what they needed to learn, and they were really good listeners. It's a fantastic experience.
Was there much of a chance to sort of bond, between scenes, or when you weren't working? Did you guys sort of hang out at all?
Well, I hung out with them, with the kids, sort of outside the trailers, sort of on set. Spent time with them. got them games, did fun stuff with them, just to get to know them and have them be comfortable with me. Showed them pictures of my kid, so they're like, "Oh, she likes children."
How much were you able to sort of take part in the action? Did we get to see you having fun doing the odd stunt here and there, being sort of more of an action hero yourself?
Yeah, I got to do some great action sequences, which was a lot of fun for me. I was a dancer originally before I was an actor, and so I love physical challenges. So it was very exciting to get with the stunt guys and learn the choreography and rehearse and get in there and do some really fun sequences.
Was there anything that they didn't let you do that you maybe wanted to do, but insurance things, worried producers, concern for your health, that sort of thing?
There's one moment where I'm carrying Noah on my back and I'm crossing a beam, and I did most of that, but there's a moment when my character falls and has to grab onto the beam. I didn't do that. I did hang, and I did get myself back up on the beam, but my stunt woman did a fantastic job.
How are you around sort of fire in real life? I mean, obviously there's a lot of fire in the movie.
Yeah.
Were you sort of like, oh, this is fine, I'll do it? Or were you just like, I'll just be over here, fire can stay over there?
No, I mean, obviously there's special effects. We had a good amount of fire around us on set, but a lot of the fire department, and we were very protected. And then with special effects they'll add. But you certainly have to be conscious and listen to the instructions you're given, and just be smart about it.
What are you hoping sort of people take away from the movie? Are you, there's always, it always seems like Dwayne and Rawson and people like that want to have a theme in the movie, want to have some kind of takeaway. It's not just an action movie.
Yeah.
What are you hoping people take away from it?
I think for all of us, the love of this family and the importance of this family and their commitment to one another, and I'm sorry, let me start that again. I think for all of us, the most important thing in this film was to make sure that the love of the family was obvious to the audience, and that strength and that courage was evident. And I think we want people to enjoy the ride and enjoy the action sequences and enjoy the fights, but to come away from it really appreciating the characters. I think what's not unusual about this movie, but what I think is special about this movie for Dwayne is the character definitely goes deeper with him. He has to go really deep. His character is mentally and physically challenged, has been through a great amount of trauma, and Dwayne has to go there emotionally in the film, and he really does it.
Did you do much in the way of preparation? Obviously, you knew you were going to be doing some sort of stunt work that you could do, and you have your physicality background with dancing and everything like that. Did you prepare for this? Did you go and talk to anybody before you did it? And did you do any sort of like physical training?
I did train with a trainer in New York. I would do about 4 days a week sessions with him, and then 3 other days a week. No, I took a day off a week, and otherwise was either doing bar classes or Pilates or yoga, and then big training sessions with him, just to be in shape and feel strong and be ready. And then when I got to Vancouver, I started working with the stunt guys and rehearsing with them, and doing basics and taekwondo and things like that, martial arts.
So you didn't feel the need to like go and hit the gym with Dwayne, who basically lives in the gym half the time?
I think he would have been intimidated, so I opted out.
Was there something, you mentioned, how sort of Rawson is a collaborative director, was there something, just a little moment, a little note or a sort of note of direction that just sticks in your mind from when you guys were working together?
With Rawson? I think what's great about Ralston is he just creates an amazing atmosphere on set. He makes sure that people are light and enjoying themselves, but also incredibly professional and safe. And his passion and his excitement, he's like a kid in a candy store, is intoxicating for everybody, and that's a beautiful thing. And he's very in tune with his writing and in tune with what he wants from the characters, and that's refreshing because you don't always get that from directors.
Sometimes directors will show cast, crew members movies that they think are going to sort of help set the tone for what they're going for. Did he suggest anything to you in terms of viewing material beforehand?
No, he actually didn't suggest other films to see, but we did have a lot of conversations about the characters and what he wanted from it. And then he got me excited when you show me models of the of the Pearl, of the building, and yeah, just created enthusiasm for us.
You talked about obviously the effects, but also there's a lot of set work in the movie. They built a lot of the not
incredible
all of it
sets
because it's huge. But how was it working in the sets? I mean, they must help you as an actor just to put yourself in that position.
It was amazing walking onto these sets. The budget was decent, and it's not always the case. So it certainly was special in a lot of ways, and the sets are just stunning. And obviously, as an actor, it really helps you get into character when you step into these places, these rooms that are created for you.
Does Sarah get a chance to use any of her sort of medical training in the movie? I mean, not to spoil anything, but I'd imagine maybe there's the opportunity.
Not a great deal. She does a little bit with her son.
Right. Did you end up keeping anything from the set? I mean, are you somebody who does that at all? Did you I'll just keep this?
No,
building?
I wish I did. I think about it now. The amount of things that I've just sort of thrown out or given away over my career that I'm like, actually, it would have been nice to have had a memento, but no, I don't. You have the film itself. That's always going to be there.
You weren't sort of tempted to be like, well, maybe I'll just keep this, this key card or whatever it is you got from there.
No, this paperweight. No.
What is sort of Dwayne like? I mean, obviously Dwayne is he's first in the call sheet.
Yeah.
He's the leading actor, but how was he sort of keeping everyone's spirits up on set? Because he seems like a guy who he does all right. All that.
He does all right. Yeah, I think he'll be okay. Dwayne keeps really good people around him. He keeps people who carry the same amount of enthusiasm for this art and industry as he has, and it's lovely to be around that group. And he has a great sense of humor. He doesn't take himself very seriously. He's able to have a laugh at himself, which is fantastic in anyone. Yeah, it was a pleasure.
The Pearl obviously is a fictional tower, but would you want to live somewhere like that in real life if there was something like that?
Never.
Not after this.
I couldn't live in a building like that. I think it's a difference between people who like to go on cruise ships for vacation and who like to actually go to the islands and walk the islands themselves. It's just completely different taste. Where I like to live is on the ground.
And after this movie, I can imagine that's double the case.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I don't think I need to go up there.
So for you, what would you say was your most memorable moment filming?
Gosh, probably shooting the sequence out on the bridge. That was just a great challenge and a lot of fun.
Was there anything that, obviously you felt safe at all times, but were there any bumps and bruises, anything like that you ended up doing?
Lots of bumps and bruises. I don't think you can do these sequences and not end up with some,
So you were sort of taking like ice baths after the day, just like, oh, all right.
Yeah, absolutely. Some anti-inflammatories.
So based on the experience of this one, would you want to do another movie with, this much action and this much sort of spectacle and scale again?
I would love to do another movie like this. Absolutely. It was a great ride.